Hello from Beer Australia Reviews, and today I'm at the Brewshed Project Maylands with Chris, who is one of our local homebrew experts in Perth. And today he's going to be doing a recipe beer for us. We're doing like a small ale beer. So I've come over to have a look at how he does his homebrew process and sample some of his beers. So Chris, tell us about what you're doing here with the water, because if you've watched any one of my videos, you'll know that I go on about the water quality all the time. So what exactly are you doing right this second? Because I've never done a homebrew, I've never done this sort of thing, so please tell us what you're doing.
So what we're going to do is we're going to use RO water. And that
what's RO water?
RO water is reverse osmosis.
Yep.
It just takes out all of the chemicals.
Yep.
It goes through 5 different filters.
Yep.
And 50% of the water goes to waste, and then the other 50% is the Rolls Royce of the water.
Yep.
So it comes out and it's completely neutral.
Yep.
What we've then done is we've had a look online and found the Burton on Trent historical water profile.
Yep.
And we'll load that information into the Brewfather software, and then it will now create and generate a water profile for us to use for this brew.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So what does that mean exactly with a water profile? What do you do to create the water profile?
What we look at doing is just adding a few salts and calcium, just to be able to change the profile of the water.
Yeah.
Water around here is very hard and it's got lots of different chemicals.
Perth water
We've stripped it out of there. So I'll get you to taste, and you'll be able to taste the difference between the stripped water and the RO water, and you can really see the difference.
Yeah, good. And Burton on Trent, I know you did ask me what water profile. So Burton on Trent is one of the best places in the UK for making real ale. So some of the best beers come from the English Midlands, where Burton on Trent is, and it was where things like real ale was first developed by a few hundred years ago. So it's a really good water profile, in my opinion, to go with, even if I don't know what a water profile is, because it's the first time I've ever heard of it today.
It's probably about triple the amount of sulfate that I've ever put into a brew. What we've got here is just a mix of grain that I pick up from the home brew shop, and they put it through the machine and just clean that up and just take it down to the right size, and that way we're going to try and get the best efficiency, trying to get the most amount of sugars out of the grain as possible. So what we want to do with the grain is we just put a little bit at a time, then we stir it so we don't get dough balls. A dough ball gets a nice crust around it, and then none of the water can actually penetrate it. So we just put a little bit in, stir it, put a little bit in, stir it, and that's how we try to get the best efficiency out of our grain.
Definitely smells like beer making now.
This is our primary vessel to do the brew in, and after this has been going for an hour, we're going to lift it up, let all that liquid fall into the bottom of the canister. There's still a lot of sugar that's in that grain, so end up with a second batch of water, and this is called the sparge water, and it's a lower temperature, and what we end up doing is just draining little bits at a time, and we kind of flushing all of that sugar that's still in that grain straight through to the bottom. Where at the moment we've put in 13 litres of water into this, we'll also put another 13 litres of water through the sparge, and by the end of it we'll end up flushing all of the sugar out of the grain. That's a 20. So this hop pellet is Columbus. It's a bittering hop, black pepper, licorice characteristics with subtle citrus overtones. A hop well suited for dry hopping, generally used in pale ales. So we've got about 15 minutes left of the boil, and after the boil's finished we want to chill the wort down. So this is a submersible chiller. I just put it in here now, and as I said, that's going to get that up to temperature, and then it'll be sterilised over the next 15 minutes. We've got a 15-minute boil for some hops. So we've just got those hops, that first lot of hops that we'll put into here now. And we'll come back in 15 minutes. So when we drop the temperature, it's just heat extraction. Cold water in, hot water into the pool. Temperature as quickly as possible down to 80 degrees, and then we can start to put the next set of hops into the wort. We've used the immersion chiller, we've dropped the temperature of the wort from a boil down to 80 degrees, and now this is time for our second hop. This will go in here for 10 minutes, and then we'll set the timer and let's go. This is our third set of hops. I actually put a magnet on the side of the fermenter, and on day 6 of fermentation what I will do is I'll come and reduce the magnet so it drops into the wort. I like to dry hop for a maximum of 3 days. Everyone's different, but that's the flavour that I think I enjoy the most. So it'll stay in there for 3 days, then I'll be able to lift it out. And by going into a little bit of a hop sock, all of that gunk as it starts to ferment, it makes it really easy for me to clean. My magnet. So now that I've got that on there, not that the wort's gone in there yet, but I like to make sure everything is sterile.
So what stage is this at now?
So this is, the boil is now over. We're now reducing the temperature down. Currently it is at its at 80 degrees while it does that middle hot component of it. So we've got a couple more minutes of it left, but yeah, this is just before it's ready to go into the fermenter. You should be able to smell plenty on that.
Oh,
That's bitter.
oh, right. It's tangy at the back as well. There's a tiny little bit of sugar on the taste. It still tastes like Ovaltine at this point still. Yeah. There's
That's bitter.
The hops are really sharp right this second, and also there's like a there's like a drying business in there as well. But the one thing I'll say to you, I cannot taste the water. So well done.
Cheers. Very biscuity at the moment.
Oh, yeah, great mix.
So that's the hop finished. What we want to do now is put the immersion chiller back on and get this temperature down as cold as quick as we can so we can put it in the fermenter.
So that's the end of a long day's worth of home brewing. Big thanks to Chris from Maylands Brewshed Project, who has put together the recipe for our Maylands session ale. So that's now got to rest overnight, and then Chris is going to put the yeast in tomorrow. And it takes a couple of weeks for this one to brew and ferment, but we'll come back and we'll taste it in a couple of weeks' time. In any case, yeah, thanks for watching.